Well, the season is now complete for winged supermodifieds in the Northeast. ISMA and MSS had their final show of the season at a track that was new to each series. Evans Mills Raceway Park is up in Evans Mills. That's about maybe 20 minutes north of Watertown. If you've never been up there, wonderful track, by the way. And I got the champion with me right now. Let's head out to Medina, Ohio. That's about 30 minutes south of Cleveland. If you've been out that way, you know exactly where he is. He started on the pole, finished second. Jeff Abold won the race, came from 12th, and from the sound of it, it was quite the show as Jeff Abold got by Mike McVetta with just 2 laps to go. Mike McVetta joining us. He won a championship with MSS as a driver in 2018, won as a caller in 2019. He's also won a championship in a sprint car. Mike, how we doing?
We're doing great, Doug. How are you?
Doing very well. So this is really something. You came in not leading in the points, ended up leaving as a champion. Did things go pretty much as you had hoped?
Yeah. I mean, we would have liked to have them last 2 laps back for the feature, but we've been really strong on short tracks this year, so we were pretty excited to go to Evans Mills, and my goodness, what a beautiful place Evans Mills is. Just immaculate. You can tell the pride that they take into that racetrack. It really shows, and it was a fun, elbows up, racy little track.
So walk me through the day. How did we start out?
We started out really good. We were third quick in practice, put tires on it, and set quick time for the day. And missed it a little bit in the heat race, and then my wife, I'm not allowed to draw pills for starting position anymore because I think my last 3 were 12, 8, and 9. So she draws. I don't even look. I'm not even in the area. And she drew the pole for me. And we stayed there for 98 laps and got caught up in lap traffic and picked the wrong lane. And, Jeffrey Abold is a heck of a racer. And he picked the right lane and cruised to the win.
What lane did you pick and what lane did he pick?
I saw a hole on the bottom. I went for it, and the hole closed right as I went for it, and he went right around the outside and around the lap cars, too.
Oh, was it 2 cars in front of you or just 1?
2.
2?
Yeah,
oh, so
2 cars battling.
And then here you guys come in. So what was your reaction? And remember, it's a PG channel. What was your reaction when you realized, oh, no, I made the wrong decision?
Yeah, we were getting loose as the race went on. The stagger really didn't do what we wanted it to do, and I knew when I threw it in on the bottom that I might have troubles getting off the corner with how the car was handling. But we were ecstatic to go there. We didn't get the chance to practice or anything beforehand. We just showed up, and the thing was just good right off the trailer. So, and it finished. We struggle with that. We struggle with that in the Classic and a couple other races where we have, just dumb mechanical things bite us in the butt. So to, keep it together for 100 laps and, lead 98 of them and come home on the podium and a champion, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, you told me some guys had some pretty serious issues. I think the way you phrased it was the oil pans didn't hold the rods or something like that.
Yeah, oil pan failure whenever the connecting rod goes through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course, you did something to make sure that didn't happen, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I tell you what, I got to give hats off to Griff Racing Engines. We took the engine to him after the wing show in August, so I don't know what that was, August 12th or so. And he had that thing rebuilt and freshened up by the Classic, so he turned it around in 2 weeks, and it's just making killer power. I can't thank them enough for doing that.
Was it lapped out pretty much?
Yeah, she was getting pretty tired. She was starting to use some oil. It was, at the high end of the laps we're supposed to run it. So we had anticipated this. It was kind of planned to happen. It was the biggest break we had in the schedule, so it kind of worked out for us.
Okay, how many laps can you get out of a supermotor on average?
We go somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 laps between rebuilds.
And where were you?
Like 1960.
Yeah,
so
yes.
We were at the top end.
Well, which track would use up the motor more? I mean, are we talking about the keeping it revved up like at Oswego, or something more like Evans Mills where it's more on and off?
Oswego for sure. I mean, you're just on the hammer and the tongue's hanging out for 50 laps at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, and the wing is pushing all the downforce and making that motor work a little harder, I would imagine, than without the wing. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that there's a big difference. We've never done the non-wing stuff other than here and there. But I think the tongue's hanging out too with the Oswego wing setup too.
It's just a big track. That's all there is to it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big track, and you don't slow down much.
No, you don't. You mentioned stagger during the race. What did you want it to do, and what did it do?
We were expecting it to close up, and generally it does. It has almost every week, and it didn't move a lick.
Really?
Yeah.
So then as the tires wore with that same stagger, that's what made you lose.
Right, exactly.
Okay, all right. So overall, though, I mean, we got a championship. I'm sure that was the goal coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. We started off real strong. The Ohio swing was really good to us. And then, we struggle at Oswego. And it's those silly failures. We had a rim failure.
Really?
At Oswego. We had a drive shaft failure at Oswego. Just those little things that, it's not that we show up there with a heap of junk that's slow. It's always a good car. We just can't ever seem to get it put together.
Okay. Well, I remember you also had to move the wing up, didn't you, at Oswego? The wing was actually bottoming out, the front wing?
Yeah. We had to change that too. With greater speed becomes, greater roll and greater suspension movement. So we were dragging the wing off of it.
Okay. So which kind of tracks do you like? The big tracks like Oswego or the little bull rings like we saw at Evans Mills on Saturday?
I'm a weird one. I like those little bull rings like Evans Mills and Lorraine Raceway Park, but then on the other hand, I love, IRP.
I've never been there. I've only seen it on TV. Is it as cool to race on that track as it looks like it would be?
Oh, absolutely. It's 100 miles wide. You can, the banking's somewhat progressive, so you can adjust your line to adjust to the handling of the car. It's just a fun place to race.
And those of you who are older, I don't know if Mike is old enough to remember this, but that's where Thursday Night Thunder used to be a lot of the days back on ESPN. So a lot of people know about IRP who probably don't know much about any other asphalt tracks, but they do know about that. So as we look at what we're going to do now, what is the next thing we're going to do? Are we going to strip the car down, look at all the welds, do everything like that? What's the next thing we do to a Super in the off season?
We're really not sure. Shady Bowl Speedway announced this race for the record next weekend, and we're kind of considering taking the Super down there. It's just south of Columbus, so it's not too far away. So we're kind of up in the air on that. Other than that, we do got to tear it down. It's probably time for a new body. This thing's getting kind of beat up.
Okay.
Some new wings and probably a new look. We'll see. Those
really?
Ketchup and mustard, but
I was going to say you can't change that, right?
Oh no, absolutely not. But it may be a different shape.
Didn't I see some pictures on your page of a little ketchup and mustard special?
Oh yeah, we got two of those. Both of my kids are running quarter midgets, and actually pretty soon here I'm going to jig up a new quarter midget frame for my daughter.
And you're going to make that yourself?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's the kind of guy you are, right? I mean, that's your skill set, right? That's what you do, right?
It's all I know.
Little over a minute left at this point, so we're winding down here. And I raced with my daughter. What kind of thrill do you get from racing with your kids?
I love it. I don't know what next year is going to look like. It could limit how much we run the Super.
Yeah, I understand.
It's hard to say. We've got a handful of races yet this fall, and there's some indoor stuff down in Columbus we'll do.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes. So far, we're 5 races in, and both of them just absolutely love it.
Really? You got them hooked now, huh?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely hooked.
Well, I'm so happy for you, Mike. Again, this is your champion. Come back in a couple of days, and we'll actually have Jeffrey Abold. We're meeting him at his shop on Thursday, so I hope to package that Thursday night and have that up either Friday or somewhere in that range. And, of course, during the offseason, we'll get a hold of all these guys and get their thoughts on the season, as it sure looks like the MSS ISMA merger was a big success. Mike, you take care. If you happen to get up this way this offseason, please give me a shout, okay?
All right, will do, Doug. Thank you so much.
Hit the likes, throw a comment on there, turn on your notifications, all that good stuff. But we're going to keep going and let you know a little bit more about all these drivers racing in the Winged Super World.